Russia has already been very critical of South Korea because it has been really one of the few countries outside of Europe and outside of NATO supporting Ukraine in its war effort against Russia, as opposed to other countries such as, for example, India or Brazil that also attended the recent G7 summit. And when it comes to China, I think it is seen how South Korea is not only working with the US and Japan in areas such as economic coercion, maritime security, cybersecurity, but now it's also working together with other partners, including the European Union. So this is only going to exacerbate, in my view, the fear that China has that South Korea is siding with all these democratic countries, and of course, not only in the area of security, but also in the area of economics, politically as well. And this is going to make the political situation of China in Asia and Indo-Pacific even more complex.
Sherry is joining the conversation here, Ramon. Good morning. And do you think that South Korea will eventually help to arm Ukraine as it wants to align itself more closely with the West, as we saw with this example of a G7 meeting? South Korea has not provided any lethal weapons, at least directly, officially to Ukraine. But do you think that would eventually change?
That's a very good question. As you said, we're talking about direct transfer of lethal weapons to Ukraine. I think indirectly we have credible reports that countries such as Poland or the US have been receiving lethal weapons from South Korea, and some of them have made their way to Ukraine. I think it is a difficult balancing act for South Korea. Right now, as of today, I think it would be difficult for South Korea to provide lethal weapons directly to Ukraine. But I should also add that when it comes from the perspective of Europe, as long as these lethal weapons are making their way to NATO members, I've mentioned Poland, but I also have other countries such as Norway, Estonia, that have bought tanks, for example, howitzers from Korea. There's also talk about Turkey, Romania, negotiating with Korea. As long as this is happening, from a political point of view, in Europe, that's perfectly fine, because I think political leaders understand the situation that South Korea is facing when it comes to the possibility of providing lethal weapons directly to Ukraine. I think they're sympathetic to the position from South Korea.